What is going on, everyone? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, here after a weekend for spending time with my girlfriend. So I haven't been home all weekend, and I'm just making a video so I have something for the week. It seems like things keep fucking popping up and I can't make videos consistently, so I need to try and do that now. The question for today's video is, what kind of Fallout game do you think ZeniMax Online Studios should move on to next? An MMO or a Borderlands-style cooperative game? Let me know in the comments below. And after about 2.5 weeks or so, I want to make another video on Fallout. And this is the video that has been waiting for a while after I posted a poll on my Twitter account asking people what they thought about the following question. For ZeniMax Online Studios, as you all know, these are the developers, or this was the developer that created Elder Scrolls Online. And I asked the question on Twitter, should ZeniMax Online Studios, for their next game, because as we all know, they can't stick on ESO forever, they're going to be moving on to something else. Should their next game, if it was going to be Fallout, should it be a Fallout MMO, or should it actually be a Fallout cooperative style game such as Borderlands? And most people went for the latter. As far as my memory recalls, most people had said that a Borderlands cooperative style game would fit Fallout more than an MMO would. And most hardcore fans of Fallout might think that a cooperative Borderlands multiplayer game doesn't fit Fallout either. But it was just a question that I think raises an interesting discussion, because again, we know that ZeniMax Online can't stick on ESO forever, yet what they're working on now is polishing and creating this MMO, which apparently, and I haven't played ESO at all, but apparently the game has improved leaps and bounds beyond from what it originally was at launch. And ask Maddie about that, he'll say that as well. And a lot of people do say that about the game, even though it still receives a lot of hate, and I can't really talk to that because I haven't played it. But yes, it does seem like ZeniMax Online Studios is really refining the formula for the MMO, really getting into gears with creating, developing, and nurturing an MMO style game, and they've been doing that with ESO. So one would naturally think that their next step is to creating another MMO, but with another popular Bethesda-owned IP. And naturally, that IP would probably be Fallout. It's one of those IPs that attracts probably just as much success and as much of an audience as Elder Scrolls does. To be honest, I don't know what the comparison is. I don't know whether Fallout or Elder Scrolls is more popular, but you understand what I mean. In terms of Bethesda and ZeniMax owned IP, if ZeniMax Online Studios was to ever move on to something else, it would probably be a Fallout title of some sort. And in that regard, it probably makes more sense for them to move on to an MMO, because they've been working on ESO for so long. They've been, for the lack of a better phrase, improving their MMO developing skills, if you will, and it makes sense for them to move on to a Fallout MMO. But I'm of the opinion, as are many other people that I asked on Twitter, that perhaps ZeniMax Online should be doing something else with the Fallout franchise. That's if they're moving on to the Fallout franchise. They could be working on a different game, who knows? They could be working on Doom or Dishonored, we don't know. But I think the best guess in terms of their next game is a Fallout game. But I would actually prefer to see a Fallout Borderlands style cooperative / multiplayer game as opposed to an MMO. And let me explain my reasons why. First of all, I've never really been an MMO fan, so I can't necessarily say, oh, a Fallout MMO would be cool, because to be honest, I probably wouldn't play it. But second of all, and most importantly, I'm a huge fan of the Borderlands series, and I absolutely love that formula. The fact that you can play Borderlands with 2 to 4 players and play through the entire campaign. We're missing that kind of cooperative style campaign game in the games industry generally nowadays. We really rarely see it. Those kinds of games are few and far between, and it feels like Borderlands is one of those only games that offers people that experience, and I absolutely love it. So because of that, I'd actually be somewhat okay if ZeniMax Online were to move on to a Fallout game and create a Borderlands style cooperative game where you can play with your friends, 2 to 4 players, and play in the Fallout universe, play together, play the full campaign together. And I think that that would satisfy a larger segment of the Fallout audience more than an MMO would. I know that from what I've seen, Elder Scrolls Online has improved, but it's still getting a lot of hate. It still gets a lot of dislikes, whether you think it's justified or not. Again, I can't speak to it because I haven't played ESO, but the fact is that it does get a lot of hate. I just think, especially judging by my Twitter poll, that a Fallout cooperative game would go over with the fans much more than an MMO would. There would still be a lot of pushback, don't get me wrong. Some people think that no matter what Fallout game it is, it should stay a single player experience. And to be honest, I'd agree with you if BGS was working on it, or if Obsidian was working on it. But if we're going to be having several years between the next Fallout game, which we arguably will if Obsidian or another third-party developer doesn't get their hands on the Fallout franchise, and ZeniMax Online Studios needs to move on to something else, and then that franchise or IP was going to be Fallout, then to be honest, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that that's the thing that they move on to, in creating a cooperative style Fallout game. For a long time, and in fact the very first video I made on this channel, I said that I would have loved to have seen a cooperative style Fallout game. And let me explain that a little bit. I'm not talking about traditional multiplayer. I'm not talking about a Call of Duty, Battlefield, Titanfall, etc. style game where you can verse people in competitive deathmatch. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is look at Borderlands and apply a very similar formula to the Fallout franchise. It might not appease or satisfy most fans. A lot of fans still might think that that doesn't fit Fallout. But the point that I'm making is that if ZeniMax Online Studios were to have to move on to a Fallout game, then that's the thing that I would want to see. I think it would just be awesome to be able to play in a Fallout universe, in a Fallout world, with 2 to 4 of my friends. Now, some people have said as well that, look, Fallout is a game where it's desolate, you're meant to be walking alone or maybe in packs of 2, so you should only be able to play with one other friend. And I kind of agree with that, but to be honest, if you really want to get down to the lore of Fallout, then it's not out of the question that you could actually play with 3 other people and walk around in packs of 4, because you have traders walking around in packs of 4 all the time. You have raiders that are grouped around in packs of 4 all the time. It's a post-apocalyptic world where people are trying to survive, so of course people walk around in packs. So in that sense, it's not necessarily lore breaking or immersion breaking, and it would just be a lot of fun to do so with a bunch of friends. And I think it would be a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit more closer to the lore of Fallout than an MMO would, because Maddie made a joke about this on the podcast where he said it'll be weird to see in a Fallout universe which is meant to be post-apocalyptic, desolate, with not many people around, to see a bunch of people, like 10 or so people in an MMO, walking around and running and saying, oh, let's do the next quest. And I get that. So I think that's why a cooperative game would do a little bit better. And of course, again, running home the point, I'm a huge fan of Borderlands, so I think that would be the most fun. Being able to play through the entire campaign, all these side quests, all these main quests, with 2 to 3 other friends, that I think would be an awesome experience. Not for everyone, but I'd love to see it. So anyway, Swayslanders, I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Would you rather see ZeniMax Online Studios work on an MMO for Fallout, or a cooperative style Borderlands game for Fallout? Anyways, let me know, and until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourself, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.